In this video, I'll show you how to send 10,000 cold emails a day without landing in spam or setting up 100 complicated tools. Now you might be thinking, why the heck would anybody need to send that many amount of emails? But here's the math on that. Even at a 2% reply rate for those 10,000 emails, that's 200 responses every single day. Now if you just convert 5% of those 200 responses into calls, that's 10 calls every single day. In fact, we use this exact system to help our clients generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue.
We've gotten such a consistent lead flow. We've gotten so many opportunities and incredible clients. I can't even count how many clients that we've gotten directly from your effort.
Now in this video, I'll show you exactly how it works. So we're going to cover why most people destroy their deliverability before ever sending their first ever cold email, the one thing you should not do when you're scaling volume, and how to actually send out 10,000 cold emails every single day. So I've mapped everything out for you on a Miro board. So let me show you exactly how you can do this. Okay, so now that we're on the Miro board, this board will pretty much explain to you how it all works. But first, let me get into what not to do when sending out 10,000 cold emails a day and the biggest mistakes that I see people making, right? So the first thing is at a domain level. Here's what kills your domains when you're sending out 10,000 cold emails a day. So most people, they'll either do one of these two things. Either A, they won't warm up their domains or email accounts for 2 weeks, or B, they'll send from the main domain. So for the first step, here's what I mean, right? You have to realize that if you're setting up this many amount of email accounts and domains, you have to warm it up for 2 weeks at least. And the reason being is because think about it from if you're Google or Microsoft, right? If you see this guy that just bought his email account and he's already sending out 30 messages every single day, they'll immediately be like, this guy is a freaking spammer. Like this guy just bought an account. Why is he sending out so many messages already, right? So you have to do this thing called email warm-up. And this is baked into both Instantly and Smartly, which are the sending tools that you can use. And essentially, when you click on email warm-up, what it'll do is it'll do what it says. It's warm up the account by sending out bot messages, but to Google and Microsoft, it looks like they're having a conversation, but it won't start at 20 or 30 messages a day. It'll start at like 3, then 5, then 10, so on and so forth, right? So if you do this for about 2 weeks or so, then you'll be good to actually start sending out cold emails, right? So this is one of the biggest mistakes I think people make. They'll just buy the domains and they'll just start sending out messages. Again, you have to think about it from Google and Microsoft's perspective. If you start doing this, or if you do this, they'll immediately be like, this guy's a spammer, because what natural human would do that? Because think about it, what natural human would just, or like a regular human, would just buy a email account and just start blasting out messages a day? They won't, right? And so you have to essentially mimic how a human would send emails, right? The second thing is sending from the main domain. Now, again, I'm surprised that so many people still do this, but what ends up happening with cold email is that you will have your domains burnt. More than likely, there's a pretty good chance that you will have your domains burnt. So if you send from your main domain, and that domain gets burnt or marked as spam, your entire website goes down. So your entire history, your backlog, your SEO, all that just goes down. So you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot do this. Please do not do this, because if your entire domain goes down, what happens to your main website? It's just screwed, right? And so please, again, do not do this. Instead, what you should do is use subdomains. And here's what I mean, right? So instead of using, let's say, Nike.com, you want to add these prefixes that you can use in that domain. So instead of doing Nike.com, imagine if I'm Nike sending out cold emails, you could use app Nike.com, now Nike.com, labs Nike.com. You see what I mean? It's still similar to your main domain, but it's not your main domain. And you might be like, okay, well, Aryan, if I do this, then how are people going to find my website? Glad you asked. What you're going to do then is forward, let's say, app Nike.com to actual Nike.com. So basically, you'll have a subdomain, and if people were to look up that subdomain, it will get forwarded to your main website. So again, do not send from your main domain, do this instead. So for example, this is for my client called First Rank Digital, and instead of buying firstrankdigital.com, which is their main domain and website, we did HQ First Rank Digital, marketing First Rank Digital, acquire First Rank Digital, because it's similar to their main domain, but it's not actually, it's not their domain, right? And so because we were able to do this, we were able to just keep sending out like thousands and thousands of cold emails every single day, and they were able to book 57 meetings, sign 8 new clients, right? And so please, I beg you, do not send from your main domain, warm up your domains, because this is super important before you even press click on that first email. So please do this. So that's what kills your account at a domain level. Now from an email level, here's what kills your deliverability, right? Essentially, the thing that I see most people mess up on is that they send out more than like 25, 30 messages every single day, even after you warmed it up, right? Because I'll tell people, hey, warm up your email accounts. I'll tell our clients, like, warm up your email accounts. And they do end up warming it up, but what ends up happening is that they'll just start sending out so much volume that it just gets marked as spam. Again, you have to mimic human behavior. That's how you don't land in spam when it comes to cold email. You have to mimic human behavior. Because if Google or Microsoft see that you're sending out 50 emails a day, ask yourself that. Like, would a regular person, an average Joe, send out 50 emails a day? No, he wouldn't. He would probably send 20 max, 20 to 25 max, but he would not send any more than 30. Like, if you're sending out 50 email accounts from one email, or 50 emails from one email account, Google and Microsoft will be like, okay, this guy's clearly a bot because this does not mimic human behavior. So please do not send out more than 25 cold email per inbox per day, even if you warmed it up. Second thing is, do not skip SPF, DKIM, and DMARC setup, right? What I mean by that is, when you buy your domains, you have to do essentially like a setup when it comes to SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. If you skip this and you're sending out thousands of emails a day, you will end up in spam. The reason being, this is crucial to the spam deliverability thing, and if you don't have this, like I said, you'll just end up in spam. And finally, you don't want to copy paste the same message across 100 inboxes. If you're emailing the same people and you're sending out the same message over and over and over again, you will end up in spam. The key to solving this is by using spin tags. It's both baked in on Instantly and Smart Lead, and what it will do is, instead of saying like hey name, it'll also say hello name, or good morning name, or hi name, right? It's pretty much the same words, but it's just said in a different way. And if you do this, you will not land in spam, because Google and Microsoft will be like, okay, well, this guy is like, he's not sending the same message to the same people over and over again, so this guy clearly must not be a bot, right? Again, it's all about mimicking human behavior. Mimic what a human does at a mass scale, and you'll be fine, right? So this is like basic bare bones, not landing in spam when it comes to email accounts itself. So this is what'll work for you. But if you do want like a full-on guide onto not landing in spam when it comes to emails and domains, I have a full bulletproof checklist to avoid landing in spam, the book more calls guide, inside of my free school community. So if you do want this free guide, join my school community below. Again, it goes over everything in depth and in detail so that you can not land in spam and book more calls. Again, join my community. Right? So that's what kills your deliverability. That's what kills your domains. That's the two biggest things that I see people mess up on. They're at the domain level, at the email level. Now, when it comes to actually what to do to send out 10,000 cold emails a day, it's pretty simple, right? You're going to buy 228 domains. 228 domains and 2 email accounts per domain, right? I'm going to repeat that again. 228 domains with 2 email accounts per domain. That means in total, you'll have like, what's 228 times 2? So like 440, 450, something like that. And each email account should be sending 22 cold emails every single day. So again, you want to stay below that 25 to 30 threshold, because again, you don't want to land up in spam. And then obviously you want to warm up for 2 weeks and then send. Now when it comes to the tools to use this, there's multiple different tools. I'm just going to give you what works best for us at our agency. We use Porkbun for our domain, so you can use like GoDaddy, Cloudflare, whatever, but we just like Porkbun a lot. And then for the email accounts, we use Premium Inboxes. Again, I'm not sponsored by this at all. I just like the tools. Like, they just work for us. They're so good. And overall, it's a great product. So again, I'm not sponsored. You can just, I'm just telling you what works for me, right? So 228 domains, 2 emails per domain, each sending 22 emails a day, warm up for 2 weeks and send, and then use these 2 tools, right? So that is pretty much how you send out 10,000 cold emails a day, right? Now you might be like, oh wait, is that it, Arian? And yeah, it's pretty much that simple. You just have to buy all these domains, and what you do is you input those domains on premium inboxes, and they'll pretty much handle everything for you. It's so simple. Like, it is, again, it's super easy. You just have to buy all those domains first, give it to them, and they'll set it up instantly inside of your Instantly AI account or Smartly.ai account. Simple. And then from there, all you have to do is just wait for the 2 weeks, write the scripts, build a ability list, and then you can start sending out 10,000 cold emails every single day. So to kind of summarize here, skipping warm-up or sending from your main domain, spam, please do not do this. Do not blast 100, do not blast the same messages to like thousands of people over and over again. Use spin tags. You want to set up SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. And by the way, premium inboxes, they'll actually send up SPF, DKIM, and DMARC for you. So again, super hands-off. It's super easy, right? And then cap at sending up 25 emails a day. I would not go more than that per domain or per email account. And again, 228 emails, 228 email accounts or domains, 2 inboxes each, homework for 2 weeks, send out 22 emails every single day. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Just buy all those domains and set it up from premium inboxes. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much how you can send out 10,000 cold emails a day. Now, if you are a B2B business and you want us to pretty much build out this entire system for you to book 10 to 20 calls a month or more and send out 10,000 cold emails a day, book a call using the link below. Here's some results that we've gotten for some of our clients. You see Deepak, we helped them generate $270,000 in revenue in 8 months. Again, Renee from First Strike Digital, 57 plus meetings, 8 new clients. Matthias, 25 new meetings, 2 deals closed. And also one of our other clients closing a new deal recently. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you found this extremely valuable. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.